Donald Trump flew to Texas on Tuesday to view the trail of destruction from Tropical Storm Harvey that has killed at least 18 people, displaced tens of thousands and defied conventional measurements. But Houston was braced for fresh damage as a vital dam began overspilling and more rain was forecast in the continued onslaught from one of the worst natural disasters in U.S. history. On Tuesday evening, Mayor Sylvester Turner announced a curfew between midnight and 5 a.m. to ensure public safety and prevent potential criminal acts. Earlier it was announced the curfew would begin at 10 p.m. However, the curfew did not apply to flood relief volunteers, those seeking shelter, first responders, and those going to and from work. Trump and Melania, the First Lady, touched down on Tuesday morning for briefings on relief and response. The couple avoided Houston and the other hardest-hit areas amid concerns that the logistics could hamper relief efforts. Trump has been active on Twitter and is eager to avoid comparisons with George W. Bush, who was much criticized for his response to Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans a decade ago. The president said in Corpus Christi, Texas, "It's a real team and we want to do it better than ever before. We want to be looked at in 5 years, in 10 years from now as, this is the way to do it." This was of epic proportion. "Nobody's ever seen anything like this and I just want to say that working with the governor and his entire team has been an honor for us." He added, "We won't say congratulations. We don't want to do that. We'll congratulate each other when it's all finished." Greg Abbott, the Republican governor of Texas, expressed gratitude. He said, about 10 days in advance of the hurricane, even coming into the Corpus Christi area, members of the president's cabinet and the president himself were in contact with me and my office preparing for this catastrophe coming our way. Trump came out of the Annaville firehouse and got up on a ladder between two fire trucks. "Thank you," he said to applause. "We love you. You are special. We are here to take care of you. It's going well." He then held up the Texan flag to loud cheers. "What a crowd, what a turnout," he added. Later, Trump visited the Texas Department of Public Safety where, according to a pool report, there was a sizable anti-Trump demonstration, with signs saying "Niet" and "Impeach Little Hands." Wearing cap and raincoat, Trump told scores of disaster responders, "I will tell you, the whole country and the whole world is really seeing and gaining such respect for everybody. The job you have done is incredible. What we have done is under circumstances." I said before, the word epic and historic, these are words used to describe this monster known as Harvey, but the job you have done is special. Accompanied by Housing and Urban Development Secretary, Ben Carson, Trump could not resist passing comment on the name Harvey. "Probably there has never been anything so expensive in our country's history. We've never done anything so historic in terms of damage and in terms of ferocity as what we've witnessed with Harvey." It sounds like such an innocent name, Ben, right? But it's not innocent. Harvey made landfall near Corpus Christi on Friday evening as a Category 4 storm with 130 miles per hour winds. It has since been downgraded to a tropical storm but has set a new U.S. record for rainfall from a tropical system, with some parts of Houston recording more than 40 in 100 centimeters of rain in Cedar Bayou, near Montana Bellevue, 33 miles east of Houston, hitting 51.88 in 132 centimeters, as of 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday. On Tuesday, boat crews raced to carry out dramatic rescues of residents stranded by unprecedented flooding in Houston, America's fourth biggest city, and take them to shelters. Homes and other buildings in and around near Houston are semi-submerged, and major roads resemble rivers. The worst could be yet to come. A pair of 70-year-old reservoir dams that protect downtown Houston and a levee in a suburban subdivision started overflowing. Jeff Lindner, a Harris County meteorologist, said water levels in the Addicks Reservoir have reached 108 feet and warned that neighborhoods in the spillway zone would begin to see street and possibly structural flooding. "We have never faced this before. We have uncertainty in how the water is going to react as it moves out of the spillway and into the surrounding area," he said on Tuesday. "We are trying to wrap our heads around what this water will do." Lindner named 6 subdivisions that appeared most at risk and told residents, "If you want to leave, now is the time to leave." The reason being, once the water comes into the street you're not going to be able to leave. Another major dam and reservoir nearby, Barker, is also enduring exceptionally high water levels, and some residents nearby are under voluntary evacuation orders and facing the possibility that their roads could be rendered impassable just as the storm's precipitation appears to be decreasing in intensity. Officials in Brazoria County said the levee at Columbia Lakes, just south of Houston, has been breached and tweeted a red warning sign that said, "Get out now." Trump retweeted it on his own feed. The levee was later fortified, but officials said they did not know how long the work would hold. A mandatory evacuation in some parts of the county was ordered 2 days ago. The Houston region's dramatic population growth, about 1 million new residents in the past decade, has seen extensive construction of new houses, offices and apartment complexes built around the dams in what once was empty grassland. Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo told reporters that emergency personnel have conducted more than 3,500 rescues since Harvey's floodwaters began overtaking the city. He also said armed robbers were arrested overnight and a handful of looters were also taken into custody. He warned that he will lobby judges and prosecutors to secure the most severe punishment Texas law allows. "This is Texas," he said. Acevedo told the Associated Press, "We know in these kinds of events that, sadly, the death toll goes up historically. I'm really worried about how many bodies we're going to find." More than 17,000 people have sought refuge in Texas shelters, the American Red Cross said. Houston's George R. Brown Convention Center was rapidly approaching double its original estimated capacity for evacuees. Around 9,000 people have arrived at the center. The Red Cross had 5,000 cots, leaving many people to sleep on chairs or the floor. Meanwhile, televangelist Joel Osteen opened his Houston megachurch, a 16,000-seat former arena, as a shelter after criticism on social media. Osteen announced the effort in a tweet, insisting that he and wife Victoria Osteen care deeply about our fellow Houstonians. It could be weeks before they are able to return to their homes. Many hospitals in the city were closed and 100,000 people were without power. The storm has dumped 90 gallons on the region, as much in 2 days as it normally receives in a year. A further 20 inches of rain is forecast to fall by the end of the week, prompting a warning that flood levels will not peak in southeast Texas until Wednesday and Thursday. At least 18 people have been killed in the storm. They include 6 members of the same family whose van was swept away in the floodwater, a man in his 60s presumed drowned after trying to swim to safety, and Police Sergeant Steve Perez, 60, who drowned in his patrol car after he became trapped in high water while driving to work. Perez had been with the force for 34 years. A weather station southeast of Houston reported 49.32 in, 125.27 centimeters, of rain as of Tuesday morning. That breaks the previous record of 48 inches, 122 centimeters, set in 1978 in Medina, Texas, by Tropical Storm Amelia. The Pentagon said there were about 3,500 National Guard troops involved, including about 3,000 from the Texas National Guard. Concern is also mounting about destructive flooding in Louisiana, where the storm is heading next. Trump issued a federal state of emergency for the state. The National Hurricane Center warned of ongoing catastrophic and life-threatening flooding spreading from Texas to Louisiana, with total rainfall of 50 in, 1.27 meters, in some parts. The cleanup operation is expected to take years and cost billions of dollars. Federal Emergency Management Agency Administrator Brock Long told the New York Times, "Texas is about to undergo one of the largest recovery housing missions the nation has ever seen."